Well, what kind of state do you think this country will be in 10 years from now? In a recent poll, 84% of Americans said they think the U.S. will be a more dangerous place. How can our top military leaders stop this from becoming true? That was one of the many topics tackled at the National Forum on Defense that was held at the Reagan Library yesterday in California. Fox News contributor Frank Luntz was there. He joins us now with a recap. Frank, thanks a lot for coming on this morning. So this was a bipartisan group of people who really know a lot about national security. What was the takeaway from this? What was the headline, would you say?
Well, it was kind of frightening because whether you're a Republican or Democrat, whether you're an elected official or military expert, the consensus was very strong that these cuts that are being made thanks to sequester are undermining America's national security and, in particular, research and development, which is essential for America remaining number one. These experts believe that that isn't happening, and thanks to sequester, it isn't going to happen. And Tucker, when you make those cuts, you can't make it back.
Right. R&D is not something you can just turn on and off at will. I mean, it's a process that takes years, and you can really bollocks it up by stopping that. So what are the threats, did people say? There's some, I think, confusion. There doesn't seem to be consensus, at least in the public, about what the main threats to U.S. to national security are. North Korea, the situation in the Middle East. What did this group think?
Well, it's interesting because the most attended panel of the entire day was the threats coming from Asia. Japan's seeming decision to go it alone, not hostile to America, but not having confidence in American leadership.
Right.
China's expanding their capabilities, and that was a theme. The military are very careful not to criticize the president or the administration because they know they could lose their jobs. But the independent experts, one after another, said that we are in a weaker state right now than any time since the Carter years, and that world leaders don't have faith in our decision-making ability, in our planning for the future. And once again, I go back to the sequester cuts, that they're undermining our capabilities over the next 10 years in Asia and also in fighting terrorism, because you don't know where it's going to come from. You don't know what it's going to mean. And there was genuine concern and fear about the decisions that are being made right now.
Interesting. So the threat comes primarily from an expansive China and also from rearming Japan. But China, really, how often do you hear political figures say that out loud? It doesn't seem to be where the focus is.
Well, you don't hear it from the military leaders, and you'll occasionally hear it from politicians. The objective, and this is what the focus was not to measure the way things are today in 2013. It was to take a look at what's happening over the next 10 years. And the American people understand this. And Tucker, one of the key points here is that if something bad happens to us, we're going to blame the military and we're going to blame the politicians. And so what these people are saying is, if you want us to do our jobs, if you expect 100% perfection, which is what Dempsey, the head of Joint Chiefs, has said, 100% perfection, then you better give us the tools to make that happen. And right now, they're not getting those tools.
Well, that really is the basic point of government. That's why you have a government, is to keep people from taking over your country, is to keep your country safe, not to run your healthcare system, but to have a strong military. And the consensus was we're falling down on the job with that.
And I pointed out to those who support the Tea Party who are watching today, to those who believe that you can get away with a cheap defense. Well, it doesn't work. And we have plenty of examples in U.S. history over the last 50 years when cuts in the military has led to crises in this country, and investment in the military has kept us strong. Tucker, this is a dangerous world. The public sees it. We have to make the investments today to secure tomorrow. This is exactly what the Constitution says is the first responsibility of government, and that's what they all concluded at the Reagan Library.
A weak American defense invites aggression in the rest of the world. Frank Luntz joining us this morning. Thanks a lot for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Tucker.